Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hey, Jessica.
Hi,
Hey,
how are
yes.
you?
Good. How are you, dear?
Dante's coming.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Hey, Dante.
Coffee.
Yes.
How's it going?
Good, man. Good. It's so good to see you both. Thank you so much for having me on board with this whole thing and getting to get to know you guys a little bit better. It's
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
yeah. I've been watching some of your videos and doing a little research on you guys, and you're just so cute. And
Thanks.
I love how you guys like bring the whole family on board into this whole thing.
Yeah.
I know. We can't help it.
Yeah, no,
we kind of had to go that route. We didn't have a choice. We embraced it.
Yeah. I think it just adds more dynamic to the whole thing, and so how you guys are in New York right now, I take it?
Yeah. We're in our apartment.
Yeah. I love is it a mandolin there on the backside there?
That is actually a mandocello.
Really?
I always have
it's a giant mandolin.
I always have to show stuff when it gets. I don't know how the perspective is, but here's Jessica and here's the mandocello.
That's fantastic.
Like
I've never seen. My sister plays cello, so I should see if maybe I can get her one of these, because that's pretty impressive. You guys have like all the instruments known to man. I swear, like every video I see a new instrument that you guys each are playing different.
Yeah. I have problems.
He's a collector of sorts.
Yeah.
all the wives of musicians that I know are always trying to keep the instruments out of the house.
That's
So I think the musicians like find ways to sneak them in.
Yep. Do you have like a special garage space or somewhere you can put them all?
No, I have a lot of them on the wall, and then they line around in guitar cases. It's really ugly.
How many instruments do you guys own total?
Maybe like 30 or 40.
Wow.
Probably something like 15.
I would think more than that.
20 guitars, maybe like 3 basses, then the family of mandolins.
Wow. So you're in it to win it.
Well, at least to play.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna win, but
yeah.
He came home one day with an upright bass that's sitting in the corner.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh yeah, I got a really good deal on this. I couldn't pass it by because the guy said he had to get rid of it because he didn't have room in his apartment." And I was like, "What? We live in an apartment too."
His level
what makes
of
you think we have room, right?
His level of devotion was not. He when you think like that, you should get rid of it.
Yeah.
If you think that this is the one thing that shouldn't leave.
Yeah.
No, I have to say I have grown to love it. And the children,
Wonderful.
the children like to like hide toys in it for Dante to have to like find at a later date.
Books.
Yes. Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Everything. Dolls.
Wow. Never a dull moment in the house, huh?
No.
How many kids you guys have? 3, something like that? Am I right about that?
Yeah. Last we checked. Yep, 3. They're 7, 5, and 3. So.
7, 5, and 3. Wow. Yeah, that's a rambunctious age, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And the little guy is pretty wild.
Yeah.
He's a pretty wild little dude.
Yeah.
Takes after his dad, maybe.
All of Dante's instruments.
Yeah. I don't blame him. I'd do the same if I could find a place to hide stuff. I would hide stuff too.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you again. Like I said, I'm so glad, Jessica, thank you for reaching out. Of course, we're in the MIB program together, and Dante, I've seen you in there as well. And so it's cool. It's like, this is what I enjoy, is like just getting to know other people. And it's been a while since I've been in New York City. So, next time I come by, maybe go grab a coffee or something. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now I know Dante is originally from New York City, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And Jessica, are you from New York originally, or did you come?
I'm from Pennsylvania.
You're from Pennsylvania? Okay. Oh, how'd you guys meet
for
then?
a summer and couldn't leave.
Oh, you met over a summer.
Mm-hmm.
Were you going to a Broadway show on Times Square and this guy stole your heart away or something?
I was a bartender.
Oh, really?
And he frequented the bar.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Yeah.
We were friends for a long time, and then we fell in love.
Oh. That's fantastic. How many years ago was this?
20?
Wow.
Yeah, about 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you made it through the pandemic and everything. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, that's why we started our little live stream, because it was only like a week into the pandemic.
Yeah.
And we're in like a little apartment with 3 kids all day, every day. You couldn't leave.
I noticed you said little a lot about the live stream and the apartment.
Oh, everything's little. Everything's little in our lives.
I'm starting
and the children.
Starting to realize how you view the world that we live in.
But yeah, I think Dante like went out one day to escape all of us.
No, I don't.
And the live stream came about.
No, I still say that I think you told me to do it.
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh, okay.
The best ideas always come from the wife. From my experience.
Yeah, no, it was cool though. Yeah, we did. We really liked it.
Yeah.
Doing it. It was just it's a very different experience because people can be there and like hanging out and not disruptive to the show. Whereas like if you're at a show, you kind of have to like be really quiet and sometimes you're uncomfortable and this and that. You can do whatever you want at your home and you can talk and it's not in any way rude. It's a really cool way to like present stuff.
Yeah.
I think if you look at it that way, I mean, I think when people try to do like what they do live, it doesn't work as well, kind of. If they try to like make it like a concert, maybe it doesn't work as well. I don't know. Maybe it does. I don't know. But like, I kind of feel like instead of making it like a lesser live experience, make it what it only can be on the live stream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Like a whole community popped up around it, and so.
Yeah, well, you guys have that beautiful New York skyline and different varieties of instruments, and of course, it's cool when like Dante's doing his thing, and then you pop in, Jessica, and then you guys are jamming together, and then the kids pop in.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even play an instrument before all this started.
Oh,
and
really?
One day a package came and he was like, "Oh, look what I got. I'm going to teach you to play this." It was this tiny little piano that you had to blow through to make it work. Yeah, the melodica.
Yeah, the melodica. I saw that.
That was my first instrument that I learned.
The blowhorn.
Yeah, right. Yeah, one of the women who comes to our live stream a lot calls it the blowhorn.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's. That's awesome.
It also comes with this like surgical tubing. Yeah. Well, you can put it into there and then blow from here, but Jessica thinks it looks like
weird.
Very upsetting.
Yeah.
They're gonna think she's.
I'm not playing it like that.
Is she smoking the hookah? What is she doing there?
Yeah.
Ooh,
there you go.
Both. Like one comes in one side of your mouth, one goes in the
other. There you go. Yeah.
One is hookah and one is the blow piano.
Yeah. You created a new instrument.
Yeah. Hookah blow piano.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are so awesome. So I know this is the first time we're actually meeting. So usually I like get to talk with people and get to know them in advance before like an interview or something like that. But we'll just keep this real casual. So I've done a little bit of research on you guys and Dante and your work as well. And I was listening to your music all week this week, and boy, you have such variety. In your music, it's pretty spectacular. From one song to the next, it's just like, is this the same artist? And you got this like low gravelly voice and sort of this Americana feel in one song, and the next song you're like into folk and blues, and then from there you like do rock and roll and all this stuff. So Dante, would you just let us in a little bit on like your journey, like where you started?
With music,
Yeah.
I started playing. I guess I started playing. Well, I was very into it, very, very little. You know, I really wanted to play, and I started playing like just like subways in the city and some like open mics around like 13 or 14 maybe.
Wow. Yeah.
And I just played around and just took my acoustic guitar and went playing. And I just I always really I just always like was happiest doing it. And you know, in terms of like the different variations in the style, I mean, I just really couldn't. There's just so much I want to play. I actually never really understood how some people just want to play one kind of music. I mean, I know you kind of have to kind of focus in on a certain genre a little bit, but it's just, I mean, would you listen to just one kind of music, you know? So why wouldn't you want to play more than one kind of music? That's the, you know, that's how I see it, you know. I mean, anything that you feel like you can accomplish and add something to, I guess. I played a lot there. I went to a performing arts school in the city. I was a vocal major, and I dropped out in 10th grade.
Yeah,
you know, having a good time.
Being a rock and roll star, you know.
and then I actually went to Purchase College for music, but I didn't take another class since I was in 10th grade. I never took another class, and I went and got an alternative high school diploma, which is actually not as good as it sounds. And I went and I applied to Purchase. Now I don't remember what I told them, but somehow I got in. And
into college.
I got into college, and I didn't take it. I never took the SATs. I never took the PSATs. I went to college. I went for music, and I did that for a little. I dropped out of there too.
Yes, you found the loophole. I was trying to find the loophole.
Yeah.
You found it.
It's right. It's in the back alley. Definitely.
Yeah.
Tell
maybe
them
you're just a step.
You.
Yeah.
That's all you got to say when you apply to college, even Harvard. Ken said. All right.
I think maybe you were just a step ahead of everyone else. Because now I got student loan debt up my A.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know what happened. Like I just really didn't. I really was a bad student. I really was.
Yeah.
I think I had a learning disability when I was young. I really do.
Yeah.
I really couldn't focus at all. Now I can focus really well.
Well, you focus on the one thing. I mean, aren't a lot of creatives like this?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not a creative. So I see you guys as a whole nother type of person.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're a special breed, so to speak.
So in terms of like what I was doing with music, though, I did that for a little while. And when I was like 16 years old, I was almost signed to Red House Records, which is a folk record label. And I remember I was underage, so I guess I was sending CDs out, demos that I made. And the guy, Bob Feldman was his name. He was the president of the company. I guess he started it maybe. And he was talking about signing us. We were going to sign a multi, what do you call it? Multi-album deal. And and they had Ramblin' Jack Elliott had won the Grammy on that label that year for Best Folk Album, I think, if I remember right. I went to the Bottom Line. One of his people, Greg Brown, was playing, and he brought me around. And I went to see that show. He came over to my house. He talked to my parents, and then we didn't hear from him for like a couple of weeks. And then so we called. I don't know who called. Somebody called. And there was like a fire at the place, and then right after the fire,
the place burnt down.
I guess
oh really?
It burnt down, but there was like
that's
a
what
fire.
your dad said.
Well, I don't know, but either way, he ended up having a heart attack. The guy, and he passed away. So that was the end of that. And then I hooked up with the guy, a manager, a couple of years later. I kind of went out west for just a little bit, and when I came back, I hooked up with a manager, sending a demo. I guess that's how it was done then. And,
back in the day.
He got me on some really good tours with like bands like Ben Folds 5. I guess Ben Folds Solo actually was Ben Folds 1. And then America and Guster and some other of those groups. And I toured around with those guys for a little while. And that was fun. But then I decided to stop playing music and become a sailor.
Oh, that's right.
For a little while.
Really? A sailor?
Sailor face. You dropped out.
All right. There's a trend pattern. There's a pattern here.
Yeah. What kind of sailing? I'm just curious.
I was sailing on I was walking by downtown Manhattan, and I passed, and a friend of mine was on a boat, and he was working on it it was a 1972 foot sailboat sloop. And they were just like kind of going around the harbor and stuff, taking people. And I was like, oh, that looks like fun. You know, that sounds like a good place for me to be. So I became a sailor. So I quit.
Catching fish and all that. You were like bringing in the fish with your stocking hat and gloves. And
I did actually end up going swimming in the Hudson. That was. Nice. But I never caught any fish. I think we did go fishing a few times. I didn't catch fish. But anyway, I did that for a while, and then I came back to music. Well, I joined the fire department for a little while after that, and then I went to music. I'm still in the fire department.
That's right.
I'm still doing that.
So, Dante, what's your background? Because I feel like I hear a New York accent there. Are you Italian or?
I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why she fell in love with me.
Yeah. Cooking all that pasta.
Right. Sauce.
You know what I mean? Making some sauce. Yeah, I did. Yeah, my father grew up in Hell's Kitchen here in Manhattan in the 50s. We had, family in all around Queens. We have a lot of family in Queens.
Mm-hmm. And his mom grew up in the Bronx here.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. She's got an accent.
Really?
You would definitely lose a few decibels off your hearing if you listen to her just talk a little bit. You definitely cut your hearing down a little bit. It's very high pitched, and it's a tragic voice, that Bronx accent. But I love her. We're very close.
Yeah. She's gonna watch this,
Yeah. She knows.
Well, I hope I get to meet her sometime.
What wonderful woman.
Yeah.
No,
oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Sweet. Very sweet. She doesn't deserve a son like me who talks about her Bronx accent.
So, going back to like when you were just beginning, you did a lot of work in the Lower East Side, didn't you? Did I read that correctly?
Oh, playing shows.
Playing shows and stuff.
That scene. I guess in the 90s.
Yeah.
It was in the 90s. Yeah, it was kind of.
I don't know. Well, I mean,
maybe 2000s. Maybe it was the 2000s. The aughts.
Probably both. I mean, in New York for a long time, the Lower East Side was kind of like the hip music scene,
Yeah. Pre-Williamsburg.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Now it's all high rises.
Yeah, it was like like those who came out of that scenes there, like the Strokes, I guess, and those kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
They were
there were a ton of bands that came out of that scene.
Yeah. Mercury Lounge
and almost Dante Mazzetti.
Yeah. So, what is your last name? Is there a meaning behind your last name, Mazzetti? I know that's very Italian.
I think
probably right.
I think it means little flowers or something. Yeah.
Cool. It's a really popular name. Like it's in Italy. Like there's lots of Mazzettis. Yeah, remember when we were there?
Just in that one town.
Maybe. We were there all just in the one town.
Maybe it is. There's a Mazzetti vinegar.
Mm-hmm. And we saw like lots of Mazzetti.
Really good vinegar. Make a great vinegar.
Yeah, different Mazzetti.
Yeah. So you guys.
So you say, but we don't know.
Right. Right.
So you spent some time in Italy, I take it. Yes.
You know what's funny about that too? I went to the town that my family's from, and when they came here to America, everybody was, I guess the immigrant populations have always been kind of like stay together, you know, like, so
Yeah.
my ancestors, they not only did they go to the same neighborhood, they were all in the same block. Like everybody from that region of Italy, which is like the Piemonte region, good wine. And then they all went to they all lived on 48th and 47th Street on 8th Avenue between 8th and 9th. They all lived there. Everybody from that, like the whole region.
Interesting.
So,
it was a really, really bad neighborhood. What's that movie?
Oh yeah, Hell's Kitchen was terrible.
What's that movie that is like set in Hell's Kitchen that shows what it was like back then?
Sleepers is that what
you
that's a little later, but not much. That's maybe.
Your dad said it was like very accurate. It was like very mafia and.
Ooh, are you making accusations now?
Wait a minute, maybe that's where Dante wandered off to, was his day job at
I had to go back.
I wouldn't want to mess with you, man. I wouldn't.
Now that you know that I whack people,
yeah. With an accent like that, no. I'm from the Midwest. You'll off me. I'll be the first guy you off.
Well, we've always had disagreements about words.
Right, because I'm kind of like, people consider me Midwest too, because I'm like all the way over by Ohio. So in New York, I'm like Midwesterner.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're kind of in that steel, what is it? It's not a steel belt. What do they call it? Do they call it steel belt?
Yeah. Pittsburgh.
There you go. How about that? Yeah, like the steel mining towns. Ooh.
Yeah.
Like Zoolander.
Right.
Zoolander. I've got the black lung.
Been out in the coal mine all day.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. So when you guys were in Italy, where is that hometown that your family's from? Is it north?
Monticelli is in the north region. North. Not as far north as like the mountains, but sort of like the foothills. I guess Asti or Alba or kind of like that would be the closest. Torino would be.
It's
close,
like this teeny tiny town
west of it. I guess Milan is a little north of it, but Alba and Asti are the biggest city. Asti is pretty close. I think it's for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
It's like one of those like towns you imagine from the olden days. It's like all hills and it's tiny, and people are like sitting, it's like opening up their window, they're like wooden window, like what do you call them, shutters, and calling out to the person below.
Oh man, see, I didn't notice any of that stuff. I just wasn't walking around in a fog. Yeah, no.
That's because when we got there, we had lunch. And the people were so kind to us because he was a Mazzetti, and they kept giving us all this alcohol and stuff.
Grappa.
Oh, you got to try this. You can't leave without trying this.
Yeah, that was cool. They were really, really hospitable.
Oh yeah.
That
was cool.
They welcomed you in. They were like, he's a mafia man.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I said.
That's so funny. And I suppose music was probably a part of your family lineage, I'd imagine too, huh?
My father played, and my grandfather did. I don't know. I don't think he did. He was I've never met him. He was very old.
Yeah.
My grandfather was. I think he had to leave Italy actually, and I don't because he
got kicked out by Mussolini.
Yeah.
Ooh, sure.
He fought on the Spanish in the Spanish Civil War against like all that, and then I guess he came back to Mussolini. I don't remember what exactly it was, but yeah, he had to leave.
So he came to New York City.
So he was off the boat, and
but your dad played, and he
did
he
play,
teach you?
He taught me up to a certain point, and then I kind of just did my own thing with a lot of it because I was very much more interested I want to say progressing as a musician. I was very interested in a lot of instruments and really like constantly like evolving as a musician on the instrument side.
Yeah.
He plays well, but he's happy with what he plays, sort of that kind of thing, But I was always kind of much more flighty and needing to do a lot of different things, like buy an upright bass from a guy who didn't want to have it anymore because there's not enough room. That's but like
his dad was involved in a very big way in kind of the folk music resurgence here in the city at one point.
Oh yeah.
And he worked for like a magazine called Fast Folk that he helped produce.
Right. That is true.
And he even has some songs in the Smithsonian because he recorded some songs through them. Like, I mean, he was very involved in the folk scene here.
She knows so much.
Yeah.
She's like a Mazzetti historian.
Yes, that is exactly
She's like the Smithsonian
Good thing you asked me to come on here with him.
Yeah.
It's perfect. She can document the history of the Mazzetti, Yeah. And I know sometimes too, when you're like going through your own journey and stuff, it always helps having somebody next to you who understands you and like gets, where you come from. And over time, I'm sure, you guys probably know more about each other than anyone. So you just help each other out,
Yeah, we're very close now.
Yeah.
But not before.
No, we never.
We hated each other before.
Well, I have to say, not that we hated each other, but she didn't like me that much.
No, he's kidding.
I mean, she liked me.
But kind of doing
she rejected
doing this music, doing music together certainly has brought us closer.
She rejected me first time at the bar.
Oh, that's true.
So I see. This is stemming back from a while ago.
This is gonna
deep-seated.
I'll be like on my deathbed, and I'll be like, and I'll look up with one eye and go, "You never loved me."
Well,
I don't really hold a grudge.
No, she just
years.
had to get to know you, man.
Oh, nice.
Starting now.
This was your territory. She was coming in from the from outside. She was probably feeling like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Why is he talking to me with his zany hair?
Yeah, absolutely. No, just dropping out of everything he starts. What did I say the other day? Oh, you were working in a bar. I was working in that peanut butter place. And for some reason, I mean, now that I think back, it's like, what were you thinking?
When I first met, I mean, but this had nothing to do with me.
I have no college degree.
Yeah.
I work in a peanut butter
and jelly shop.
What was I thinking? What was I thinking? Like, why did I think, like, I can't believe it. She turned me down. I gave her a free peanut butter sandwich.
He did. He would always give me peanut butter cookies.
Well, now this is incriminating. Oh. Well, okay. Yeah, that's all right. I guess that place is closed now.
She was just testing the waters, and she was going to see if you were going to come back for more. And sounds like it worked out in the end, So that's great.
It really worked out. It's lovely. It's a lovely relationship.
You guys are just darling. I love it. Okay.
You have to bring your wife on next time.
Yeah. We'll have to see if I can arrange it. Busy schedules all around, but
just gonna turn out to be a hangout after.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't like how we tried to do our show always. We always wanted to feel like just hanging out.
Yeah.
I don't know if we accomplished that, but that was the goal.
Yeah. Well, it seems like you've done lots of shows in breweries, distilleries, and I think I even saw you with like a brass band or something. There was a trumpet player and a saxophone player. So I don't know if that was out of schooling or
right. The trumpet player I played with a lot. The saxophone guy, I think he just showed up one day.
That was that one show where There was a show, cool. It was really cool. Like towards the end of the show, there were a bunch of musicians who were in the crowd that just like happened to have some of their stuff with them.
Yeah.
And so one of them was a piano player, one was a saxophone player, and then I think one just had like, he grabbed your harmonica or something.
Is that right?
And they all just came, and he, I don't know how it even happened, but somebody said like, oh, let's invite them up, and they invited them up, and they all just started jamming, and it was like really cool.
Musicians are kind of like what do I want to say here? Softball players. They're always looking to get in the game, you know.
Can I join you?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
they bring their glove, and they're like, hey, I just happen to have a glove.
Just happen to have.
Yeah.
I got it.
Just happen to have a baritone saxophone here.
Just let me pull it out of my back pocket here.
Carry it everywhere, just in case.
Yeah.
The AED defibrillator.
Well, it was a great idea because it was so cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, I like that. And then all of a sudden you jumped up on upright bass, and I was like, wait a minute, what? This guy keeps playing different instruments. I was, I think that's super cool. Like, that's super impressive. I think people love that in a live show,
Yeah, we were doing a lot more of that before. I do like doing that. Like when I was bringing all my stuff when I was playing shows, and it got to be like so much. But I love doing that. I think it's, like you said, it's really makes it fun. Like just to change. All my favorite shows have always been like that. Just watching, they just do something different, vary it. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people are encouraged to do the same thing a lot. And I don't know why that is. I feel like that's like, you got to have a sound. You got to have your song sound similar. You got to do that. And I don't understand that. I feel like that. I don't get that.
Boring. Well, I would imagine it's kind of hard to kind of stay within a sound and a genre while also keeping it varied. I mean, I guess that's why so many artists have trouble doing that, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
Do you find like you have different audiences for different types of styles that you play in, or now being probably more online, like do you gear your music towards a certain audience?
I try not to do that anymore. I try to just play what I enjoy. I kind of do it a little bit with like the playlists and stuff online. I only try to, some stuff I know is just not marketable at all.
Yeah.
You want your stuff to get out there. So I kind of feel like sometimes I put out stuff that's a little more consumable. Is that a good word? And completely. Then it'll maybe bring people in. Nothing that everything I do like. I wouldn't put it out if I didn't like it. But sometimes there's stuff that I won't even like. I won't put out there. But I think that most of the people that come in to our audience and everything, they like the variety. I mean, I could be totally assuming that they could be rolling their eyes when I start something.
Oh, great! This song again.
I would never know.
Well, I think we see like when people are requesting your songs or letting you know that they like particular songs, you can see that, right now, a lot of the songs he records, they're either like very kind of Americana sounding, like singer-songwriter folkish over here, or they're like a little more alternative, like I call them kind of like Tom Waitsy.
Waits.
Oh yeah, nice.
And I think most people have preferences for one or the other. Though he'll have people who say, "Oh, these are my 3 favorite songs of you," and it's like one super Americana, one super Tom Waitsy, and then the other one would be like from when he was 15, So there's definitely a variety. And we just did this thing where for the next album he's recording, we did a live stream, like a private live stream with
that was fun.
Yeah, kind of like his core group, and they could weigh in on like what songs were their favorites. Yeah. Though it didn't really help because like it was like an equal amount of every song pretty much that people called their favorites.
Yeah.
It's hard to do. But I just kind of we just like to open up the experience of what we're doing. Like maybe somebody will be interested in it. Maybe. You never know. Something different.
Yeah.
Well, I heard your song, The Professional, and I think it was actually the first song I listened to on Spotify. And I was just like, and then the next song came and I was like, whoa. I was like, I'm like, is this the same artist? Do I have the right guy here? Like, The Professional, and I love the video for it, the ballerina, beautifully shot. And I thought, wow, that's cool that he just saved some space for the artwork. You know, it wasn't like you were there singing on a side shot or something. It was just literally the ballerina the whole way through, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool in context of the music, because that song, you're very low and gravelly in your voice, and it's almost ominous, kind of jarring sounding. At least to me it was at first. I was like, what's going on here? And then I saw the video, and there was like light and darkness, and I just thought it was really well constructed, like as a piece, you know.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that it's like, I'm kind of more into that perspective than sort of like, you know, make it a piece of art unto itself, rather than sort of like this featuring this mouth dubbed fake sort of sitting on the side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which a lot of stuff is. Although I have to say, one thing I do like about videos now, it does seem like you get more real aspect of people. Like people just kind of set up, even like really famous people, they'll just kind of set up in like a spot, they'll just play. I like that, you know. Yeah. It seems like the days of like the guy playing the unplugged electric guitar and singing. I saw that in this video when I forget who I was watching, but he was like playing guitar on stage and his guitar wasn't plugged in. And I was like, that's weird. I don't think this is really real.
I feel like that's something only you musicians notice.
Well, I certainly you got to plug the guitar. But that was probably an 80s video. In the 80s and 90s, you didn't need to plug the guitar in.
Right.
Video.
Yeah.
Everybody would just assume it was, you know,
yeah,
gets in the way.
And you guys do like the double microphone thing, right? I've seen you do this, but I don't know, is that a box microphone or what is that?
It's a copper microphone. It's a very narrow frequency, the band. What is it, bandwidth? I guess it's like it has a very mid-rangey, very focused like frequency.
Yeah,
would be the way to say it. I don't know if I'm making sense, but it's a copper microphone, and it's made by a company called Placid Audio. Yeah. And I'll use it sort of in a way where I'll take one mic and I'll kind of blend them depending on what I'm doing. Sometimes I put it further back just to get a little bit of that crispness, and it has a natural distortion to it. Yeah. And then I run it through a tube amp. Instead of running it into like the board, I just run it into a tube amp. So it has this kind of crunchy, cool, like sound. And if it's one of the songs that I'll just focus in more. If it's like a kind of a talky, breathy song, I'll get right on top of it.
Interesting.
So,
yeah.
I do kind of bounce off both of them and just hope for the best.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It adds a cool effect, you know, to your voice. And then I see you playing with pedals too, and like, yeah, I'm like, and he's playing drums at the same time. I'm just like, whoa, dude.
I know.
Yeah, now it's gotten to the point where I feel like I have a lot of trouble not playing the foot percussion, because I did it sometimes, but then like when I started doing the live show, we did it all the time, and now it's like I want to make noise.
Yeah, it's in your body, right? You just want to, yeah.
I even feel like sometimes I shouldn't play it all the time, but I do anyway, because I just have so much fun with it.
And he actually recorded one of his songs that we have up on Spotify, Breaking in Sun Live. He recorded it doing the foot percussion, because the idea was like, you know, because it's like the rhythm is going through him, and I don't
Sometimes
know.
I wonder if I said this stuff to you. And
this is how I interpreted it.
It's like, you know, I don't know.
Well, right,
Maybe I did.
but because I mean, you didn't use those words, but that was the idea.
That sounds good. Let's go with that. I said that. Put it down.
It's a good thing that she speaks for you, right? I mean, am I right about this? Jessica is kind of your
It's very good. We just need to make it sound like it came from me more. we need to like prep it, and then I can just come out and say, it's like a train running through you. What did you call it? What did you say? It was like
the rhythm going through you.
And then I'll just say that. Okay. That'll be good because it'll look like I know what I'm talking about.
So on the day-to-day, Jessica, do you help book shows, manage socials? What's your part in the whole?
I do pretty much everything other than like he does everything creative.
Yeah. So
he does all the music, obviously. He does like any like videos or anything is usually his conception. And then I'm like the grunt worker who gets all the other stuff. He like replies, it's like he replies to all his social media stuff. Yeah. But I do things like set up the email and I do like all the shop stuff. Yeah. Anything dealing with the shop.
She pretty much does everything.
Anytime there's an order, I'm mailing it out.
All the bookings, all the
setting up interviews.
Everything. I mean, I would be on a sailboat right now if it wasn't for her. I really wouldn't be doing much.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I don't know how to do business stuff. I don't even. It's just the whole idea of it. Just like it's just awful.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like doing
she likes
stuff.
She likes it.
Yeah. It's a perfect partnership. It's
it really is. It's really
it is. Yeah.
And she plays a little bass.
Right now I do.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Yeah, a little.
My bass uke.
Bass guitar.
Yeah. Cool though. Yeah. It's a really cool little thing.
I'm probably one of the only bass uke players in the entire world.
I bought her a nice Phil Jones bass amp. It's a nice amp.
So now I have like my music gear. Actually,
Gear.
Last night we were cleaning up and the kids were like, "Whose bass amp is this out?" Nice. And I was like, "Well, it's your dad's. All the music stuff is your dad's." And they were saying like, "I should clean it up because it's really mine."
Yeah.
I have to start taking ownership of some of the music stuff, I guess.
A little bit. It wouldn't be bad.
Do you mind me asking about your kids?
No.
I know you said the age is 3, 5, and 7. You said, and tell me about them. What are they like?
They're amazing.
Yeah, they are amazing. They really are. Yeah. They're really sweet.
Yeah.
They're really nice little kids.
They're our oldest is like really into music. She wants to see, it's interesting because she wants to see like all about the recording stuff, but she's also very interested in what I do. Like she wants to sit in on our group meetings and like see what people are talking about. And she's just really interested in all sorts of stuff like that. And she is learning piano and singing and stuff. And our other kids, I don't know, it's interesting. They're all different. They've been learning from home this year, all year. So.
Yeah, they've been around a lot.
Yeah. So that's why they're always in the live streams. We're just like with them all the time.
They're cool though. You have a good time.
Yeah, they're great. And they're all very close. We're like a very close family. We talk like someday maybe we'll like rent a big tour bus and go on tour and take them with us. And I used to be a teacher, so I could homeschool them for the year or whatever. And
you sound like you're trying to sell it to him.
So you want me to phone you up a bus tour? I'll just try and get that on the schedule.
Yeah. Will you let us go?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. I suppose they kind of want to be like mom and dad and make music with you guys and all that sort of thing. Huh?
Totally.
I mean, that's what I did. I saw my parents, my father playing music, and I think that they're always around it. And we, I'm not into them going to gymnastics, so but this is cool.
Yeah.
So well, gymnastics is crazy. It's crazy. It's like they make you be so.
Well, especially like here, everything's so intense. So like,
no, it's intense everywhere.
Well, I was in gymnastics when I was a kid.
But that was a long time ago.
But like everything, it's like, oh, she's 5 years old and she's doing gymnastics. She should be doing it 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And you should be homeschooling her so she can do it 4 hours, 5 days a week. I'm like, she's 5. Like,
yeah.
I think that's a New York thing. I don't know. Is it like that where you are?
Well, I'm from South Dakota originally, and I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota now. But I kind of, in some ways, because I grew up in a really small community, German heritage, with sort of like a Mennonite background, and so I was a part of a private school. And so we had to do music and sports and band and all these things. Like we just didn't have a big enough school to do it. I think I graduated with 7 people in my class and 32 in the high school. Yeah. Wow. So it was very, very, yeah. So I was lucky in that way where I got to like try different things. But music always called to me. And it was kind of one of those things where we weren't a very good team anyway. So if we lost, it was like, whatever.
It's like, I like that.
Yeah. We had 7 people to choose from.
I mean, like, she played tennis nationally. She went all over like playing tennis. I don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah,
like,
wow.
Yeah, like the bus, like here, there, like.
That's true.
But that's what it is. They saw kids are usually not just on teams anymore. They have to do those travel teams. Are brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure for the kid and for the
pressure and a lot of commitment by the parents.
Yeah. You're like, I'm just trying to make music. I don't really need that.
Yeah. That's like, like we try to be the kind of parents, and I know
that don't do that.
No, they're like kind of no,
less.
That are like, whatever you're interested. Like we let them ask us for stuff, like. Yeah. Well,
you're interested in Cheerios? That's great. Because I didn't want to take you to soccer. So here's some Cheerios. Bye.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like our kids, while the pandemic was going on, they saw us doing all this stuff, and it started coming out like, oh, that's when they said, like, we really want to start learning piano. We have a piano that we're sitting right in front of. And so that's when it was like, they wanted to start, that's when they decided that they wanted to start doing piano and voice lessons and,
yeah,
that kind of stuff. So
yeah, that's good. No, that was a good answer.
That's super cool. I love it. Okay, Dante, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Because you are not just a man of music. You are a man of his community, it seems to be, right? You released your debut album, Lost and Drifting. And then, did you put out a second album before you went to the fire department, or did you?
I did.
The debut album was Dante Mazzetti.
Yeah, that's right.
I see.
And then the second one was that. Yeah, and then I stopped for a long time.
Yeah.
Actually. Joined the fire department and did some of that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I actually I'm at the fire department in the neighborhood I live in too,
which is unusual.
Well,
for New York.
Yeah, well, I think it might be, yeah. But so I did that I've been doing that for 14 years now. So
wow.
That's, and then I just kind of like maybe like 5 years ago, maybe it's more now, I just started playing music again, and I just really missed it. But it was nice having a break, and then coming back again. It kind of like didn't have any of the aspirations I had. I just wanted to make music, and I ended up really enjoying it. And now going forward, it's something that I feel like I really want to build on, because it's like getting a new lease on it, Also, it's been very like liberating to have a source of income and just make music, because you don't have to go out and play those gigs you don't want to play. You don't have to live out of a van. You don't have to you don't have to accept every show. You don't have to play for money. It's just so hard to be that kind of musician,
The hustle,
it's especially hard at if you're not 21 years old anymore.
You start feeling it, don't you?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But it's great because if you want to create that kind of music and you have a job that, you have enough freedom of schedule with, because we can trade tours and stuff like that for shows, and you work 24 hours, so then you have certain amount of time off because you're working in big blocks, so that allows me to really be able to play a lot, and having source of income. I mean, it is a civil servant income, but
sure,
it's good enough that music is a great supplement. We make money off of the music, but certainly it wouldn't be enough to live off of. I mean, I think that's really hard to do, and if you're doing that, you're doing a lot of stuff maybe that you don't want to do, unless you've gotten wildly successful. But I mean, I remember David Lowery wrote those articles about what a successful touring mid-range like national touring act does, like a band like his.
He's Wilco.
He was Cracker.
Oh, Cracker.
I mean, but now, like, I guess they had a hit, I think, in the 90s maybe. But now he's like sort of like a touring band that's just kind of like does well. They're media, they're known, they sell out the venues they can sell out. But like it was pretty depressing, like the numbers he was throwing out there. If you want to be that touring band, I mean, you just think of it alone, like I mean, think about it, like if you wanted to live, you got to live out of a van, right? Well, now you're paying for fuel, you're paying for repairs, you're paying for for eating on the road, right? You're eating every meal out, it's crazy.
And there's 5 guys in the band.
Yeah, and he was throwing out statistics like if you're making like $20 a show and you're a 500 capacity, maybe it was like something like that. He was saying like everybody makes like $200 a night. That's pretty bad. Like if you think about like just that you're on the road the whole time, you're kind of living badly, you're eating badly, you're living out of a van. I mean, that's so hard, everything that breaks down, because you got to, I guess he's taking into account, you got to pay the ticketing company, you got to pay the venue, you got to pay the roadie, you got to pay the manager, you got to pay the booking agent, and if you have a label, you got to pay parts of the label. So you're paying out, and then you got to split it 4 ways if you're in a band. I really don't think it's possible. I really think if anybody can be a solo or at least a duo, it's really the way to go. Not because I think that I mean, I think it's great. The more the merrier, but it is just too hard. I mean, I don't know how anybody does it. Like, I mean, it's the difference between if you're splitting $1,000 4 ways, right? Or if you have $1,000, you're gonna make the same money, pretty much. It's just so hard, and that kind of lifestyle is nice to be able to avoid. And with all the social media and the live streams, sort of can play the live shows that I want to play instead of having to take everything. We were playing a lot of the breweries and the vineyards and for a while, and it was just it was, the money was, we were making money, but it wasn't like one time we drive to the shows and wear and tear on the vehicles, the time, everything. At the end of that, it was like, it's just really but this live stream has been so good for us, and now we can do this, and we can mix this in with some of the live shows, and maybe do the shows like City Winery here in the city we played, and that's like a venue we like to play, but then not have to play some of the other ones that
let the industry work for you, right? And not the other way. And
right.
And that's great. And I can totally relate to that, having done tours like that and things where it's just, you can go, but there will be a point where you have to stop, and because you just burn out, and I think it's great that you guys are doing the online thing. I see posting your stuff and the videos and all this sort of thing. And it's, and you can just reach a bigger audience. It's like, instead of going to a brewery or winery or whatever, play for 30 people, you can play for 300 people or 3,000 people, or
and all over the world. you know, people can find you all over the world. And it's also, I think, really like I was you know, touching on this before, but I really think it gives new life to people that maybe wouldn't be playing anymore because again, it is such a young man's game in the sense that you know, you just like, it's just, you have to live so poorly to tour around. It's like, you know, you have kids and all this stuff, and maybe you just don't want to live like that. You know, maybe you have an orthopedic neck pillow that you need to sleep on, and you know, just making myself sound really old. I'm actually not that old. I just started, you know. What year is it?
Well, so for instance, so I was just talking.
Is this a Saturday?
Yeah. But it's true, because the internet and social media has like really opened up music for so many people who would have quit otherwise, or wouldn't be able to share their music.
And you can do it your own way. You know, you don't have to be worried about any of that stuff. And again, having another source of income is any source of income, anything else. And, you know, just cuts out that whole awful, like, struggle, so much of it, you know.
Yeah, because it's not just a financial, it's like an emotional thing, and it's psychological, and it's the worst when you're living from paycheck to paycheck, you know.
Yeah, you don't know.
Done that before too, so
show gets canceled. I mean, you don't want your passion, your art, your music to be tied up in this, like, I need to, you know, always worried about it. You just want to make it, you know, you just want to make the music, you know. I mean, it's, like you said, like, you know, and like you said, like, it's emotionally, like, draining, because you're living badly, you're eating badly, you're sleeping badly, you're sleeping on a, you know, in a van down by the river.
I need my orthopedic pillow.
Yeah,
where's my pillow?
I don't like things now compared to the way they used to be.
I'm not going on stage. I'm not. Oh my gosh, so funny. Well, thank you guys for your time. I appreciate you giving me a little bit more insight to what you guys do and all this.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah.
And it's been good to, of course, I've met Jessica briefly on some of the calls, but Dante, I haven't gotten a chance to get to know you. So yeah, you just seem like a brilliant, sweet couple, and have a beautiful family, and just keep doing your thing, because it's really, really cool what you're doing. So
thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, so kind of you.
And I'll get this podcast out maybe like a month or so, but I'll promote the hell out of you guys, and you know, and just keep the love going. So
all right. Thank you so much. It was so nice, like, getting to know you a little bit, getting to talk to you a little bit. And I love the podcast. I think it's really a cool kind of like angle or whatever that you're taking with it. And I like it.
Thanks. Yeah. I kind of, well, you know, Rick kind of inspired me with his music industry blueprint podcast series. And then I was like, I've been thinking about podcasts, and now with this year, with the pandemic, I mean, I kind of had the idea way back last year in January, and I thought, well, why don't I just do this? I think part of it was like, I wanted to be able to explain to people in my day-to-day life who don't work in the industry, like, what it's like being an entertainer, what it's like being, because it's not just, I'm going to my day job here. It's like, it's a full-time sort of thing, and you have to be really creative with trying to find, you know, money, or trying to, you know, work your way through the industry. And so I wanted to learn also, and see what other people were doing that, you know, could benefit everyone, you know. Yeah. So I really appreciate you guys being open and sharing your experience.
Thanks for having me. I have to know, what did you decide about your video? Are you doing the face paint or no?
I did. Yeah. We filmed it.
Yeah,
we filmed it about 2 weeks ago, and I got all makeuped up, and we did a photo shoot and stuff too. So I'm really glad that I did, because it's conceptually with the song, it's much more the direction I want to go. So
he was deciding to go like a more artsy way, or a more non-artsy way, I guess. And I feel like the people in the group were kind of telling him to be like more safe.
That's what it sounded like from your reaction. just now.
Yeah. And I was, and you know, and I was
Good
hoping
for you,
that,
Jack.
because you know what, like, I feel like your audience will appreciate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I agree. I think like everything, I mean, there's so much to be said for marketability and stuff, but I just think like we have just been concentrating on fans, and it is going well because I feel like we are just doing what we like, and it's coming off as real because it is. It's what you want to do. It's different. It's like, you know, maybe not everybody can swallow it, but we were talking about that too, like, because like that was on the Rick podcast or the Rick thing with you too, about like, you know, being very like, go for the fans first, you know. It's like they're the ones who are into you. I mean, you think about like your,
as opposed to like chasing after Spotify playlists or whatever.
which I think you can do both, but I mean, a fan, like, think about like what is the like what is one of the first bands you like, or what is one of your favorite bands from the past?
I mean, of all time, God, there's so many.
I mean, just like somebody like, I mean, but like,
you
know, like, you know, you would still tune into that band. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Let's say 10, 20 years ago, whatever it is, you still tune into that band. You still, they're going through town. You still think about seeing them, whether you go to shows or not. You still like stop and listen to their music. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's, if anybody's a fan, they're into you. You got them. You got them for good. You know, you have them. Yeah. And that's what you go to. And that's what they're going to say it to their friends, you know, and whoever it is. I mean, that's, you know, playlist, you know, you have, 10,000 Spotify playlists. Could be just passersby, you know, they could like it, but they're not, you know, they like a lot of stuff, you know. Remember how into Chumbawamba you were?
Oh, I was actually.
I always stop at Chumbawamba. You know what? It is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man. It's like, you know, it's the people that are going to stay at the party, right? Not just pass through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And there are a million people out there that are playing it safe, you know, and if you take a risk and do a little more artsy, you know, some of his music is very artsy, and some people don't like it and other people love it, you know?
Yeah, but like, I think if you play it too safe, like you're playing the game with Columbia Records, you're playing the game with Warner Brothers and Universal. Right. Do you want to play that game? You know, I can't play that game at 43, you know, like, but I can give something, you know, I'm a 10 times better musician, if not more, than I was back then. You know, I've looked at myself even like 5 years ago. I'm like, you know, so it's like you can, as with experience, with everything, as you know, you can give something that, you know, that they don't have, and that's all you have against them. If you play that game, now they're playing it with millions and millions of dollars. They're playing it with 20-year-olds, and they're playing it, you know, it's a rigged game. Yeah,
not a lot of room for creative expression.
No, so it's like, why play that game? You know, there's enough people who don't want to hear that. You know,
Well, there's this other podcaster that I listen to, and he always says that like you have to be okay with the idea that some people are not going to like your stuff. And his thing is, Taylor Swift comes to New York City and she sells out Madison Square Gardens, but there's a lot of people, and there's more people that don't want to go, you know, and that goes for every single artist in the world. And, you know, that's, you know, our whole thing is like, he makes his music, and then my job is to like find how to find those people who will like it. They're going to be into it.
Yeah. Go get them, kid.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I love you so much. I gotta let you go because my brother has a bachelor party that we're gonna do. He's getting hitched. So yeah. But I'm so glad that we had a chance to talk, and I just adore you guys. So let's find more time to do that. Okay.
Cool.
That's good.
Thank you for having us.
We'll see you guys later. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.